Hello, I am Anna Shoup from the Hat Junkie in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, and today I am coming to you from my living room on my most cat-destroyed chair in the house. We've basically allowed Debbie to take over this chair. It's our sacrificial chair. The light was so perfect. It's a Sunday where I let myself not just work on things for selfish purposes. And I sat down here in the sun and it's so perfect. I thought I would record a little video and tell you about my latest pattern that I have managed to publish. Before I forget, if you're looking for me, you can find me on my website, which is hatjunkie.com, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the Hat Junkie. Don't forget the if you're looking for me. I'll show you what I'm knitting right now. This is the Venezia Shawl by Joji Locatelli, and this yarn is so pretty. It is a skein that I bought at the PEI Fiber Festival a year ago, and it's from the Annapolis Fiber Company in the Annapolis Valley of Nova Scotia. I think they are still in business. The young woman who ran the company or runs the company was the main spinner of the mill at Taproot Farm. So anyways, the yarn is so beautiful. It kind of reminds me of a hand spun, and it's very tweedy with all these gorgeous colors in it. And I'll just quickly about this pattern. It's actually, I knit one, and it's supposed to be knit at a looser gauge, and then it becomes kind of a small shawl. But I want it to be like a scarf. Here, I'll show you. So I've knit it tighter, and I just wanted to go around my neck once and be able to tie it and have this pretty little lace edge here. So I've shortened it. Have I shortened the pattern? I've made a tighter gauge, and I changed the shaping a little bit. So after you start at the tip and then you increase, and then I actually stayed flat for, I didn't increase at all for a few rounds, which is different than the pattern. And now I'm decreasing. So I think it will be the length that I want. But what I really want to show you is, okay, first of all, I suppose you're going to want to know about my sweater. This is the Inkle. It's from the Kate Davies Inkle book, and it's I hand spun this yarn from a local fleece, and I dyed all the colors except for the turquoise, and it's a pullover that I turned into a cardigan. Oh my God, I think it's the Inkle. No, it's not the Inkle, but that's the book it's from. If I find out, I'll try to put it down there. Okay, so I want to show you my latest pattern. And these are Luella's mitts. And the reason they're called Luella's mitts, I wrote a blog post about it. If you go to my website, you can see. There's a lovely lady who sent me, not this yarn, but the original mitts. And she lives in Gotland, and her name is Luella. And so I designed these fingerless mitts based on her yarn, which I'll show you. But this is the final pattern that I'm super happy with. It's one size with 2 different thumb gusset lengths. It's so easy to alter the size by just shifting the needle up or down a little bit. It's a really fun knit. There are a few rounds that have 3 colors on them, and it's got this little picot hem. And people sometimes ask, like, why fingerless mitts? That if it's cold out, you just want to put mittens on or gloves on. But I actually wear fingerless mitts in the house quite a bit. Like, my studio gets cold, so it still allows me to work. And actually, like, today is 5 degrees Celsius outside. I find that the perfect weather for fingerless mitts. I just don't need full gloves yet. I like to have access to my fingers. So whenever it's not too cold, I wear fingerless mitts. So I'll show you the progression of this pattern. You can find it on my website, hatjunkie.com, and also on Ravelry. Look up Luella's mitts on Ravelry. So this was my first version. And this yarn is beautiful. It is from Gotland. It's Gotland wool. And there's 2 natural shades of gray, and also the purple is dyed with cochineal. So this Luella sent me these. She is a customer, a lovely woman, sister of a longtime customer friend, and when she came and she bought some hats from me here in Lunenburg, and then when she went home, she sent me this yarn in the mail, which is just the nicest surprise. So I design these with a thumb gusset. Usually when you see these sort of intricate patterns, like very Scandinavian, they have like a cutout here for a thumb. I have to say, I do not like the feel of that kind of a thumb because it's constricting. I don't like anything constricting anywhere. I don't like things tight around my waistband. Excuse this weird sun, but I'm so enjoying it that I don't care. No, it's probably not the most flattering light, but I had to do it because it's so nice to sit here. So anyways, I designed these with this thumb gusset. The original, I put the flower here, but then I realized that is quite a pain to knit because you have 3 colors here that aren't lined up with the 3 colors here. So I ended up going with just a thumb gusset that is really easy and mindless to work as you're working a sort of detailed hand pattern. But what happened, so I divided the front and the back because I was sort of fixated on keeping the pattern centered. Like you do in all color work, you want the pattern to be centered on a sweater or whatever, or a hat. And so I divided it with this little seam of a plain stitch. But what happens is as you move your thumb, the pattern shifts, and then I kept seeing the thumb. And I had to fight with myself for a good week or so, saying, can I let this go? Can I design this? Does anybody care? But you know what? I could not let it go. Every time I walked, I was obsessed with the fact that this seam was no longer in the middle. So then I thought, okay, I'm gonna try something different. And that's when I got to these ones. So my thinking on this one was that I would keep the same pattern on the outside and I'd put a different pattern on the inside, which I actually made a mistake here, but I thought it looked kind of cool. I never finished these, so the thumb's not done. And and what I did was I made more stitches over here and less stitches on the inside. Same count, but just less, thinking that when I moved it, I'd still have this main pattern over on this side. But it still didn't really work. And what my friend Micheline, who tech edited my pattern, I have to say my pattern is beautifully tech edited and laid out because My friend Micheline, a brilliant knitter and graphic designer, did that for me. So there are no errors in this pattern and it's easy to read. She pointed out that when people actually put mittens or gloves on their hands, they rarely look at which hand they're putting it on, you know, unless you have the thumb cut out here and then you physically can't put it on. But with the thumb gusset, you're gonna just stick it on and chances are people are gonna be facing the wrong way. And I was like, you're so right. I am like that. It's I have to work very hard to know which side of my sweater is front or back, unless it's a cardigan. So I scratched that idea, and that is when I realized that the pattern is actually fits so neatly into 70 stitches so that I didn't have to divide them. I didn't have to have a seam. I just kept going around, and there's only one seam over here of, not really a seam, but a line of plain stitches that defines it over by the thumb gusset, so that this is seamless. And because you move your thumb this way, it actually shifts the pattern right to the center. So these are the rambling thoughts of a kind of obsessive woman. Maybe, I guess most people would be like, I don't care, but I really did care. And anyways, I'm super happy with the outcome. So that is what I have to share with you today. The other thing, man, this light's going across my face, but so lovely. The other thing I have to share with you today is very late, and that is a little video compilation I did from the summer. All summer, I was riding my bike and I had my phone with me and I was taking little footage of all the beautiful locations I could get to on my bike outside and walking. And then my problem is editing. I just didn't put these things together. And here we are at the end of November, and I'm going to share a summer video with you. So it'll be summer again soon enough. So enjoy the video of Lunenburg and the area around Lunenburg, anything I can reach on my bike. And I hope to talk with you again soon. Bye.